How do you know if an estate sale is right for you? So today we're here with Cheryl Jackson from Sail Away Estate Sales LLC, and she's going to help us answer some commonly asked questions about when an estate sale might be right for you. Cheryl, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yes, hi, Cheryl Jackson. Mr. Fritz, thanks for having me. I like this YouTube channel idea. That's great. Happy to be part of it.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being here. It helps a lot to educate people and to serve the community.
Yeah.
So thank you.
So the estate sale business is kind of the Wild West out there. There's not a whole lot of regulation. I don't think there's any regulation federally or statewide. So the estate sale companies vary quite a bit. We are in the estate sale business because my family has been in the estate sale business in 2 other states for the last almost 20 years. They have a company called White Hat Estate Sales, and I have worked with my sister for years on and off, and they have just been sort of on a mission to professionalize the profession, sort of, and they've convinced my husband and I to open a company here in Dallas-Fort Worth. So apparently we do not know how to retire. We just keep coming up with more things to be.
I love that. You never retire. Keep doing what you love. You never work a day in your life. You said something very interesting earlier, and I wasn't aware of this originally either. There's not a regulation or a license for an estate sale company?
No, you have to have a business license to operate, obviously, so that you can pay taxes to the state comptroller's office. But you don't have to have any kind of certificate or license to have that type of business. There's no formal regulation. So anybody and their mother could open an estate sale company, and they can promise you things over the phone without actually delivering,
Right.
and you'll have no recourse. So,
Interesting.
yeah.
Yeah. And we've run into that in the past with companies. everybody wants to try to earn the business, and without a lot of regulation, they can kind of, like you
Right.
said, tell you whatever they want you to hear, get in the door, and then maybe it's not the same thing on the back end.
So my husband and I have been trained by my sister and brother, older siblings, by the way. So that was not always a nice process, but we got the message. And of course, their contract is basically our contract, and it's been a proven legal, attorney-written, contract, and it's served us well. So when we go on an appointment, we leave a notebook. We do not leave a contract, but we'll go over it. And we leave a notebook with frequently asked questions. There's a bio in the notebook for them to look at to learn more about us. A lot of our clients, they may not be on the web. They may not be able to go to our website or maneuver it easily. So we have everything printed, and we have it in larger fonts. And that's for me as well as for them.
Right. Yeah, it makes a difference. I need the larger font too. But you mentioned the binder with the frequently asked questions. What are some of the questions people might not know they don't know? Like, what should they be asking when they interview?
Well, one of the biggest questions is, how soon can you get it done? So they may call us and they say, well, my house sold sooner than I thought.
Okay.
We have 3 weeks to get out of the house, and what can you do for us? So that's kind of a tight schedule. It depends on our schedule. If we don't have anything booked, or maybe we have something booked for the next month, but not that month, we will try and accommodate them. But the first thing we do is go out and do a walkthrough consultation. We listen to what they have to say. We determine their needs and make sure that an actual estate sale is right for them. And if it is, and if we can accommodate them, then we would take the sale. 2 weeks is pretty much average for a typical house, like 3-4 bedroom. 3 weeks for anything usually bigger.
Does that include the weekend of the sale? How far out are you booked? How quick do we need to?
So typically, let's see, we just did a small house in Dallas. It took about 2 weeks full time. We worked some days, and then we had another 4 days for the sale.
Okay.
So, it depends on what's there and what we can work with. Now, sometimes if the house is already sold or if it's already on the market, it's in much better condition than walking into a house that needs a lot of cleanup. We don't necessarily do hoarders. I do get that question every once in a while. But we have gone into some houses where, the house has been empty for a while and it needs a little bit of organization and cleanup. And what we do from start to finish is we go in and start discovering what's there. organizing and sorting. And usually during that stage is when we'll find things that maybe the clients or the owners had lost. We found a set of wedding rings that had belonged to the client's grandmother that had been up on this shelf in a little pink box like for 30 some years. And she was thrilled.
I bet.
We've found money clips with money in them. And of course, anything we find like that, we take pictures of and immediately let the client know. And so that's always kind of nice to get to return those items.
Finding those lost traces. Yeah. That's
But
awesome.
there will be a lot of cleanup involved sometimes, and we're all for it. We just roll our sleeves up and do the best we can with staging and organizing and sorting and pricing. If we have a client that's out of town, like we did in one of our sales, we will take video and pictures along the way so that they can follow our progress.
Okay.
And that's always nice too.
Do y'all do online or just in person or both?
We have tried. We did one online sale auction, and it just wasn't as good for the client.
Okay.
So online, when you look at online, especially hybrid, they're starting at dollar bids.
Okay.
And so I didn't feel like the client really did well with that. And there's a myth that online is easier. It's
Right.
not easier because you've still got to move everything and you've got to photograph everything individually. Right. Then you have to put it into a database and you have to title them and then you have to send it off and then you have to keep up with it. And it's like a 20-day process.
Right. And shipping and pickups and all this thing. So
yeah, don't remind me. We were very excited when we got our first in-person sale in Waxahachie.
Okay.
It was a great sale. We had a larger house and a wonderful client. And we ended up getting walkie-talkies because we had so much space and we had a garage and a shop and a 4-bedroom house. And so we had 3 cashiers and we were talking back and forth to each other. And I mean, it just went really smoothly.
How long does that usually last? Is it Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday? Like, how does the pricing work? So
the sale that I just mentioned was a 3-day, and it was full day Friday, full day Saturday, full day Sunday.
Okay.
And that worked out fine for that because we had a really good crowd. Now, we did do another sale that was in Duncanville, and she had been an artist, and she had a lot of beautiful art. Oh. And so we did Thursday night preview night, which was really fun. We advertised it a little bit differently. We added some galleries and some antique shops and some other places that we sent pre-made flyers to, in particular to that sale. Okay. And so we got some buyers in for that, and they came Thursday night. So, there are that occasions where we'll do a Thursday evening preview night, still open to the public, but we just invited an extra group of people.
Okay.
And then we had the regular sale the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Interesting. That's a good idea if you've got somebody who has unique art. Or we did, I don't have an estate sale company, but one of my clients had an estate sale not too long ago, and they had a lot of just fabrics and sewing machines and a lot of industry specific stuff that I didn't even think to ask that estate sale company to go market directly to that industry. Right. So I love that. That's a great idea. Okay. So typically Friday, Saturday, Sunday. What are we looking at? I don't want to say price wise, because I know it's going to vary, right? Depends on where it is, what you have, all of that. But if people are interviewing, because this is one I get a lot. This estate sale company charges this % with this minimum for these items. And this company said that we don't have enough. And this company charges a different percentage. So how can we help people understand how to compare apples to apples?
Yeah. So we will go out and take a look at just about anything. I mean, we won't ask a lot of detailed questions on the phone. We've had a couple of appointments where they've said, well, they asked us a bunch of questions we couldn't answer. Well, they're not going to know what year that piece of furniture was made, and they might not remember the name of the brand, and they may have uranium glass that they don't even know they have. That's come up before, and that's always the seller.
Okay.
So, we'll talk to everybody on the phone. We'll go out and we'll take a look at just about everything. And our only problem is we won't go like an hour out. It's just too far.
Right.
So when I say we won't go out, it's usually because of distance.
Okay.
And pricing is tricky. But as far as what we charge, our average is 40 to 45% with an average size home.
Okay.
And I'm saying the typical items in the home. A good sale is one that has a good mix of furniture, appliances, kitchen items, small appliances, tools, yard equipment,
Okay.
even lawn furniture. You have to have the group of unnecessary plastic items in the kitchen. Everybody needs those.
Wow.
So a good sale is a good blend of that. And if we have that and we have a typical sale, I can say it's probably going to be about 40 to 45%. But we do have a minimum, and that is $1,000 typically. But if you have those items, that's easily met.
Yeah. So say that's
my
pretty
clients, yeah,
pretty
my
low. That's a
clients-
reasonable minimum. I
Yeah.
mean, some of them are $5,000 and $6,000 and $7,000.
Right.
Like
right.
you're not gonna meet the minimum, and
Exactly.
then make money on top of it.
And that depends on the area too and how much competition.
Is there a good time of year or better time of year? Because it's occurring to me in this conversation.
Yes.
There's only so many weekends in a year.
Right.
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 So you're kind of capped at,
and this is starting in the prime season.
okay. So spring is the prime season.
Spring
Okay,
is the prime season. Now, I noticed estate sales in the summer in Texas is a challenge. And the heat's just
Well,
terrible. So I think last year we skipped August. But we do hand out bottles of cold water to all of our customers when they come in.
Okay.
And that was kind of a big surprise to them. I don't think customers are being used to being treated like that. So that's kind of nice.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's a nice surprise. Makes them feel welcome and like
Yeah.
appreciated.
And we
So-
appreciate
yeah.
the fact that they may have waited in line outside the door for the first 45 minutes or so.
So again, we can't always control when we're going to have the estate sale, but if you're thinking about it and you have time to plan, it's never too early to plan. Or you
That's
have
true.
a year or two and you know that you're going to be making a move or downsizing, right sizing, just decluttering, right? People have estate sales all the time, and that doesn't mean they're moving or anything's happening. They're just trying to get rid of some stuff, declutter.
Another thing that comes to mind is a lot of companies will not do estate sales if there's someone still in the house. So we've had situations where the client was in the home, like 1 week she was there still, but she was transitioning to another job. So we would have 1 week on and 1 week off. And it took a little longer to set up, but we worked with her and it worked out just fine. And you get to know the clients really well, and you get to know their dogs really well. And, we work with everyone, but it doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to say no. If someone says, well, the move out date is not to the 30th, and she's still living there, is there a way you can start? Yeah, we'll work around it.
Okay. What am I forgetting to ask you?
A lot of
Other
people
questions?
ask what happens towards the end of the sale.
Okay.
Okay, so let's say it's Saturday afternoon. People ask if we have discounts. So our philosophy and our strategy is to price things pre-competitively the first 2 days,
Okay.
and that'll be our full day prices. We want our customers to buy things on Friday and Saturday.
Mhm.
So we price them accordingly. We don't want to have somebody come in and say, well, I'm just going to come back on half price day. We do have a half price day on Sunday, our last day of the sale. But we don't guarantee that everything's on half price. Because
Right.
obviously if it's sterling silver jewelry or, other valuables, we'll maybe give 25%.
Okay.
But we will normally not ever disclose any kind of discounts lower than 50%. Because honestly, you're kind of training your customers not to come until then. And we don't want to do that. We do bring a couple of resellers in after the doors close on Sunday.
Okay.
So I have just a handful of people that I let come in and give me an offer for what's left or for certain items that are left. Because let's face it, there might be a few things that are just a little bit too nice to donate.
Right.
And I want to be able to get that client some money for those.
Okay.
Other than that, we will arrange for a donation to the charity of the client's choice. And if they don't have a particular charity, then we usually use Souls Harbor. I like Ronald McDonald House. That's kind of my favorite.
Okay.
But it depends on what it is and who will pick it up.
And that's huge to have a lot of charitable organizations because they
We are
all
there for Mary
take
House.
everything.
And most of that stuff, I'll deliver myself. If they don't come get it, if it fits in my van, I don't mind taking it.
Okay.
And we don't charge for that. Once that process is over, we'll go back in and we'll broom sweep and we'll dust and we'll clean and we'll have the house empty and what we affectionately call realtor ready.
There you go. I love it.
So-
Makes my job a lot easier.
Yeah. So there have been times when realtors have come in and said, well, I'd like you to get it professionally cleaned. And the client will have people come in and give them estimates. But they'll end up hiring us to do that because it's much cheaper. We've already cleaned the house, chances are. So we actually need, all we go back through is do the windowsills and we'll do the ceiling fans and we'll do another job on, the floors and the vacuuming and all of that. But we'll do deep cleaning services too, and we can save that client money through that. So
Awesome.
That's just an added service. That's about one of the few things that we just charge extra for if they choose it. The other thing we found out is attics in August. We will charge a little more for.
Because
those are tough.
they are. But yes, like pricing, when you should do it, how it kind of works. You talked about all that and what happens afterwards, which is huge. You're just not left with a pile of trash in your living room. It's professionally taken care of and everything's buttoned up.
And we do work we work with a really great company called North Texas Junk Removal. It's also a veteran-owned company.
Okay.
And he'll come out and give us estimates on removing things. We had some sheds that needed to be torn down, and of course, we can't handle all those things, and he'll do those for you, and he'll give you a reasonable price too. We have started a really nice following of people who come to our sales over and over again, and they know that they're going to get a bargain. Everybody comes to estate sales for a bargain.
Right.
That's what they're coming for.
And now I think that's huge to help people understand. Like they're not coming to estate sale to pay retail full price.
I mean, you've got customers who are resellers, customers who are collectors, or customers who are just like, mom and daughter want an outing for Sunday.
Right.
So there's really 3 or 4 different types of customers. And it's good to know to learn your customers too. So we've had customers who come in the first day when we first opened, not so much now, and want to, wave cash around and say, well, I'll give you this amount for everything on the table. Well, I don't think so. And then they'll go to the other area and they'll say the same thing and they'll get shut down. And then they won't come back to one of our sales, and that's fine.
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
people want a bargain, but there's a reasonable level.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, if people are trying to bargain like that, it's first of all, it's really not polite.
Wow.
Because this is an industry where we're helping clients, we're helping seniors. So,
everything sells for the right price, right?
Right.
And I love the aggressive strategy because I would rather get it sold in the first 2 days.
And that's what's best for the client.
Yeah.
And that's kind of one of the things that sets us apart from a lot of other estate sales. I mean, besides the fact that we do excellent staging, every sale we do, we've had comments, first thing, it's so organized, it's so clean, it's so beautiful. And they want to take their time. They don't want to rush through. They don't want to pick things up off the floor.
Right.
They want it displayed. And that's how we do things.
If it's staged nice, it's easy to see what you're getting, everything's laid out, you almost subconsciously are willing to pay more for the stuff versus fixing a bin.
It shows that you are proud of the item.
Yes.
And one of the things that we have, there's no refunds and there's no returns. And I bought a blender at an estate sale once and I got it home and it doesn't work. Well, what do y'all do about that? Well, we have a system in place and we have very nice signs that say, did you know that in our company, we use colored zip ties on a cord of an item, either it's an appliance or an electronic or a tool. And if it has a colored zip tie on the cord, that tells you that it's been tested.
Okay.
So we're training our customers to know that and to learn to trust us. And the same with the linens. We may have a big, huge quilt and we'll wrap it up nice with a ribbon, but we'll also put it in plastic and we'll have a note on it. It'll say the measurements. They don't have to pull it out and measure it. It'll say clean as a whistle, or it'll say slight stain in middle, something like that, because we want them to get as much information about the item as they can so they feel confident buying it.
Awesome. I love that.
There'll be other companies, they may offer to do it a little bit cheaper. Right. They may offer to do it a little bit faster, and that's up to you. But I can tell you that most likely you'll get a better result with us.
If the people want to reach out and get a hold of you, how do they do that?
Okay, so they can look on our website, which is saleawayesales.com, or they can call me direct at 469-323-4206.
Awesome. Well, it's been a pleasure having you. Thank you for coming on. Absolutely. Thank you for helping educate. I love it. If you found value in this video or know someone who would, please share the video with them. Follow Senior Living NTX for more information and for more just education on how we can make this senior transition program possible.
And you can also find us on estatesales.net, estatesales.org, our own website. And we've just started doing on our Facebook page something called Tuesday Tidbits. So every Tuesday morning, you can find information about the industry overall that's interesting, or something about our company that's particular to our company. So it's just information that I think is interesting and that people may not know. We just posted a Tuesday Tidbit all about HOAs and how a lot of people are assuming that they cannot do an estate sale because they live in a gated community or an HOA. And that's not necessarily true. We've worked around a lot of HOAs. So
yeah, that's awesome. That's really good to know. That's good information. So follow on the Tuesday Tidbits.
Tuesday Tidbits.
There you go. And you'll learn what you don't know. How about that?